Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of a different style of morning brief because we missed the morning brief. So now we're going to do one in the evening for those of you that are in the US and in America, as I am here in Asia on the blockchain cruise. And we're about to dock on an island called Paradise off the coast of Phuket. So about to go on shore. It's about 8 a.m. in the morning here. I believe it's about 8 p.m. in New York. And Jimmy is on the East Coast as well. Where are you, Jimmy?
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, about to do my seminar tomorrow. Yeah.
Excellent. So we did want to bring you the show as we're trying to do it daily. There's always so much news going on. As you can see, I am in my cabin. I really wanted to do it like somewhere outside, but it's just a little bit hectic, and I am in a rush to get off this giant boat and onto a beach. So Jimmy, let's kick this off. Let me just go right into screen share. Unfortunately, I was not able to pull up this article because Forbes has these weird paywalls. But this article was about Zappos CEO and saying something about PayPal because he's on the board of PayPal. Can you walk us through this?
Yeah, more or less what Wences said was that he thinks Bitcoin could become the global store of value, kind of what we've been saying for a long time, which is that the store of value case is the big one, the killer app for Bitcoin, if you will. And he more or less said that it's a big deal because he's a PayPal board member, and he is of course CEO of Zappo as well. But the fact that he's able to say that like sort of publicly and people are noticing that's kind of what I think is the big part of the news. It's people are going to see that.
Yeah, and my problem with Zappo has always been what Wentz and the CEO were saying during the 2x hard fork, and I thought they were completely hypocritical, and they wanted to hard fork Bitcoin. And to me, any company that signed that stupid 2x agreement and then didn't go back on that agreement before the cancellation of the 2x project, I will never respect that company for as long as I live. I mean, that company has lost all of my respect permanently. There's very little that company can do to actually get back in my good graces. Now, an attempt to do something good is immediately activating and programming native SegWit and immediately showing the world what Lightning can do and admitting that they made a mistake by doing the stupid 2x thing. And this company did not do that, and I continue to not respect them. So I will always question what is the motivation there, and are they trying to turn Bitcoin into another PayPal where they get to control the currency in every transaction? So
Yeah, it's a good
those are
question.
pretty much my thoughts on Zappa.
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll see. I like Wences. He's a good guy. Maybe didn't sign that thing. He was trying to help his company by signing that thing. I don't think he knew what he was doing, but that's kind of what happened.
All right, so let's move on to the second story where, I mean, Mark Cuban has been of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for a while. Mark Cuban, actually, if you look at the history of Mark Cuban, it's very, very interesting. People think that Mark Cuban is some kind of a genius for what he did during the dot-coms and how he became a billionaire. In reality, Mark Cuban got very, very lucky. What Mark Cuban did was, just a little backdrop, Mark Cuban basically put radio on the internet. And those of you that are fans of the show Silicon Valley, you know that there's a character there who also put radio on the internet. That's what Mark Cuban did. They rebranded the company to broadband.com, I believe.
Broadcast.
And broadcast.com? Yeah, sorry, broadcast.com. And the company went public. He became a millionaire. He actually made some really good deals. Like he convinced like the founder of that company to give up like a lot of the shares and let Mark Cuban hold on to them. The company goes public. He becomes a multi-millionaire, and then Yahoo buys him out, making him a billionaire. He immediately sells all of his Yahoo stock, literally a few months before the dot-com crash, and Yahoo ended up completely shutting down this project about 2 years later. Was he good or was he lucky? It really depends on your perspective, but it's very, very interesting. And so it looks like he's ready to accept cryptocurrencies for the Dallas Maverick ticket sales. But unfortunately, he also believes that Ethereum is a legitimate project I'm not sure why. I guess in my opinion, he has pretty bad advisors on this one. So it's good that they're starting to accept Bitcoin. I hope they have a Lightning node. You see, this is the thing. Like, if you are about to have, if you're about to start accepting Bitcoin and you're expecting mass people to actually use Bitcoin, you really gotta get on board with accepting them as Lightning transactions. And I know it's still in beta-ish form, and we're going to talk about that next. Them together, like, it's one thing to announce, you're a billionaire and your basketball team is going to accept Bitcoin, but the way you accept Bitcoin is supposed to be like this, right? So go ahead and read Rusty Russell's post from Blockstream, where Blockstream has started a store Bitcoin. Unfortunately, the hats don't seem to be listed, but they're accepting them and they're testing Lightning transactions within it. So let's talk about both of these stories at the same time, Jimmy.
Well, so Mark Cuban, I don't know. He's been dismissing Bitcoin for a long time, and then all of a sudden he's like, ICOs, I can make tons of money, and now he's like, I don't know. He's one of those guys that seems to either dismiss it completely or go all in, and like go with every like. Why can't people find this happy medium where they recognize Bitcoin to be something special, and then not go past that to all of these other things? It seems to be a very hard balance for a lot of people that are coming into this. And it takes people a while to sort of get to the point where they're not dismissive of Bitcoin, but they are dismissive of altcoins. I don't know. That seems to be a hard road to travel because I guess superficially Bitcoin and other altcoins kind of look similar. The Blockstream story is very interesting, and just to be clear, it says on their store website, like, please be very careful. This is all beta software. Like, don't send too much money. It is real, and you will get this stuff delivered, but don't put too much money into your Lightning channel, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I mean,
Jimmy, if I click on the Blockstream store, would it take me there?
Yeah, it's a little bit slow, but yeah, it'll come up.
I mean, that's expected, right? It is Blockstream. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, it's but the big part of this story that's interesting is not the store, but the framework around Lightning that they are releasing. So it should be much easier for developers to create Lightning-based stores and things like that. So you can utilize it for whatever application you have. So if you want to make some sort of informational product where people have to pay in order to get something, you can now use Lightning to do it, and it's not that bad. And you can open a channel.
What's worse than the worse than the mempool? You weren't kidding when you said it was slow. It's like the mempool.
Yeah, it took me like 2 minutes to load it, but I mean, you could sort of see it in the screenshot there. Although the products we are selling here are real, the store is for testing and documentation, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it is
right.
very
So it's kind of like TorGuard, right? Like they also have a Lightning node where they accept payment for the VPN services, but they're taking responsibility in case something goes wrong, right? So Blockstream is doing the same thing. Yes, you can pay through Lightning for the items in the store, and this is a little risky, and it's in beta. So if something goes wrong with the Lightning channel and your payment actually gets lost or whatever, the Bitcoin disappears, we'll still make good on delivering you the product. Same thing with TorGuard. They're also experimenting with their Lightning node, and they're like, hey, if something goes wrong, you're not at fault. We'll still provide you with the product.
Yeah, and this is a demo site for their real product, which is the actual framework around Lightning. So you can integrate it. There's like, I think, a software development kit and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's your
disclaimer at the bottom.
Yeah, but
please tell me they're selling more than this.
Yeah, no, that's all. I don't know. Maybe there's more, but that's all I see there. But that's the idea, right? This is Blockstream doing good for the entire community because they are creating sort of the infrastructure around Lightning that I've been talking about so much. In order for Lightning to gain foothold in this whole thing, you need infrastructure, and they are creating some of this infrastructure, as are Lightning Labs and all those guys at DCI and stuff like that. And that's a good thing. This is how Lightning's going to get adopted, is by people sort of working on infrastructure like we're talking about, and having Lightning channels to all these various places. And I personally probably still won't spend too much money on using Lightning channels, because I like to keep my Bitcoin, because I still think store of value is the killer feature. But I'll probably check this out and try to buy something. Samson, if you're watching this, you really need to get that hat on there. You need to have the Dragon's Den hat on.
Yeah, he does.
He does?
Yeah, he does. That's the one thing I would have bought. Like, no. He needs to put it on there, because I would totally test their Lightning node by buying the Dragon's Den hat, because that's the only hat I don't have. I know this guy is a little bit prettier than me, but that should be me with wearing the "Don't Trust Verify" shirt. I think I've worn that shirt on camera more than anyone in the world.
This is what we need to do. I need to play with this stuff anyway. We need to make up a store that sells your buy the dip shirt. That's what we should do. And maybe if I could,
we have. Hey, you know what?
And if I could, manufacture some cowboy hats with a big Bitcoin logo on it, I want to sell that on there too. That's and we should totally do it.
Hey, next week, can we work with the buy the dip store and set up a Lightning node for them, because and see if we can test it? I would totally love to do that. Wow, is the site slow? There you go. The buy the dip store. I would love to put a Lightning node on here for the buy the dip shirts.
Yeah, and maybe we can make it for our seminars, right? Like you can. Well, I mean, it's a one-off payment most of the time, but if it's like a company paying for 5 employees, and then they're like, oh, can we add a 6th?
Oh,
keep sending or something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna.
But anyway,
we're gonna work on that when we get back.
We got some ideas now, right? Like we have some infrastructure where it's not going to be so difficult to set up Lightning and all that stuff. But yeah, let's try to make this work, and have more stuff that people can buy so they can use their Lightning channels. I mean, I imagine there's a lot of people watching that are really curious, and if we have like a nice Lightning wallet and we can play with it, I bet you people would like. Right now, if you're an entrepreneur and you're selling stuff for Bitcoin, this is the way to do it, because there are probably a lot of people that are curious enough about Lightning that they'll buy your crap, right? Like, it doesn't matter what it is, just so they can utilize the Lightning channel and see what it's like. So, sell stickers, sell.
I know. It really sucks that you and I aren't really selling crap, and it's kind of high-end product.
Yeah. So let's.
Let's move on, because people want us to get to the price, and we have 2 scams to talk about. I'll let you pick one, and then I'll talk about the other. So we have to choose between the Stelar scam or the Bitconnect scam. Oh, wow. That's exactly what I want to see from the Bitconnect website.
Yeah, they are getting DDoS pretty heavily at the moment. Yeah.
I find out how I believe that as much as I believe that the Stelar wallet was actually hacked. So go ahead. You want to take Bitconnect, and I'll take on Stelar.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been getting regulators on them for a while now. So it's not a surprise that they stopped.
They're a Ponzi. They're a Ponzi scheme. I mean, why wouldn't regulators be on them?
Yeah, so it's a fraud, so that makes sense. Yeah, well, their price has been tanking more than every other altcoin, which has also been tanking. So that tells you what you need to know.
Speaking of this, so sorry, I got to interrupt you again. So when I opened this up this morning, this was the tweet that I have.
Yeah, they lost like 90% of their value in like what is this candle? Is this hourly or daily?
That is a daily candle. So in one day they went from 0.02 all the way down to
95%. Oh my god.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's
so
this
is
crazy.
How bubbles end. Right. So what people have to realize, and again, people still don't realize this, how you lose all your money, right? Because not only does it fall 95%, it falls 95% within a day. And it will always fall during the part of the day when you're asleep or stuck in an airplane or stuck in an elevator. And this is how Ripple is going to end. This is how Ethereum is going to end. This is how Dash is going to end. And potentially, this is how even Litecoin is going to end. It's going to literally fall 95 to 98% in a span of a couple of hours. And there's nothing you will be able to do about it, and you will not get out in time. But just like with Bear Stearns collapse, when it fell down to like $2 from like 60, people were buying that dip at $2. I think it's going to come back. No, it won't. So yeah, that was a pretty cool tweet. Yeah, so it looks like Bitconnect is done, which is unfortunate because I was all ready to create an affiliate code and push it hard on April Fool's Day just for fun. It looks like I'll probably never get the chance.
Oh, you'll have lots of other chances with other coins, man. There are plenty.
Yeah,
of
that's
things
true.
like
I gotta find.
Yeah,
I
look
gotta
at that
find a new
candle
one.
though. Like that's a crazy candle. Like it was near that bottom
Oh, yeah.
before. That's a. So you say there's no double bottom. So yeah, when it crashed past
Well,
that bottom
I that's the thing, right? Like something like this a
there.
couple of days ago, that could be just a data error because again, we're dealing with God knows what exchange hit BTC, or that could also be someone that knows something that got out and like sold them all and it kind of went unnoticed. But all right, let's briefly talk about Stellar. So one of the wallets got hacked. So I'm not exactly sure what this is. I mean, Stellar is a centralized fork of Ripple. The only reason that Stellar exists with us is because Jeb McCaleb was the other people at Ripple did not allow Jeb McCaleb, who was responsible for creating the Ripple token, because Mark Arpellis went to jail instead of him for the Mt. Gox fiasco. So when he couldn't sell his Ripple scam tokens, he decided to fork them into Stellar in order to get out of the bag and onto unqualified investors his Ripple position, which became his Stellar position. And I'm not surprised at all. I mean, the guy sold the Mt. Gox scam to Mark Arpellis, and then that got hacked within a month. So if I had to guess, I'm assuming this is just Mark Arpellis, Jeb McCaleb once again with admin credentials, stealing billions of dollars. Like it's
not even that much though. It's like 400K. 400K. It's I mean, Stellar could print that.
Well, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's really not that much.
Yeah. So but the price of Stellar, I heard, fell like 30%. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, this is a scam of Ripple.
So I don't know how much credence you could give that.
That you're right. That's true, actually. Yeah. So we don't care about that story. SegWit, it's hovering around 12%, which is good. The latest transactions, I mean, looks like Coinbase is operating again. So there we go. They still haven't learned how to batch them. So it's a little clogged right now.
I have
down
heard,
to
though,
10
that
megabytes.
there's a lot more hashing power that came online. There were like 20 blocks found in an hour, where you should average something like 6. So it either the network got extraordinarily lucky, or there was a lot more hashing power added, and that should technically clear the mempool a little bit, but we're not really seeing that, which is kind of strange. But yeah, there's a lot of really there.
Yeah, Bitcoin's popular. I mean, it's oh man, it's just something we have to deal with.
Yeah, I wonder how many of these transactions are like opening Lightning channels so they can play with Blockstream stuff.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to create our own, and play around with Lightning channels. So Bitcoin also took a dive. I believe Bitcoin isn't falling as fast as the other coins against Bitcoin, but we clearly broken out of this potential triangle on the weekly. So those of you that have been following me for a while, and I wasn't really there to say anything, but right here on a weekly scale, the moment the price this week started trading below the price last week, you had a shorting opportunity. Hey, Jamie, actually, when I do this, do you see like a circle on my screen or no?
I don't think so.
I don't see anything, right? Yeah, okay, so I have that because I'm doing a different type of screen share. Okay, that's fine. So right now, this week, oh, no, hold on a second. Let me switch the type of screen share I'm doing.
All right, that's a little.
Yes, I'm gonna robe. Those of you that are actually here on time probably knew, but all right, I'm here on a cruise, so we're about to disembark. I'm gonna do it this way, so then you guys can like now you can see like a circle, right?
Yeah, I can see the
Right.
circle.
So so the moment the price this week dipped below the price last week, the time indicator told you that Bitcoin has just become a long-term short play. And by long-term, I mean weekly candles. Okay. Now, it's very dangerous to short Bitcoin. And the moment you have some profit, you really want to take that profit. Let's go to the daily chart. Now, the daily chart clearly just broken out of this triangle in a pretty violent way. So the moment the daily chart starts breaking out of the triangle, it pretty much becomes a short. Traditional trading using triangle patterns and symmetric triangles. So the target of this triangle is actually pretty damn big. Um, Pretty big. So we're not going to hit the target because the target out of this triangle is actually down to $1,000. I mean, that's how big this target is, which is why you really wanted this triangle to break out to the upside and not to the downside. So according to trading the rules of a triangle, you're shorting pretty much the moment you've fallen below these lows. So this would have been your short entry on the daily chart. According to the time indicator with the numbers above, you are actually not in a short trade. You really need a red number trading below another red number. Also, the subtlety to this is that Bitcoin is a really weird 24-hour market, and it's kind of arbitrary when the candles close. So when you start counting these red candles, notice how you have this one green candle price flipping you in the middle of this red downtrend. And if you almost ignore this green one, you have this 9 candles of downside, and now we seem to be rebounding. So I'll be really careful here that this capitulation has pretty much ended the drop for Bitcoin. We clearly have a lower intraday low. We clearly have a lower daily close. The only thing that bothers me is that the weekly has now turned bearish. But the weekly doesn't stay bearish for very long, at least not recently. So I would be very cautious on the current short trade, and I would really want to see like it pull back up to at least this red line, preferably back to the bottom of the triangle. And then if it starts to dip back down, a short trade and try to time it going into $7,500. Like 75 would be a perfect bottom because that was the previous top that I thought was going to top for the year. And also it would reset us back to the 200-day moving average. So lots of good things will happen if we fall one more time down to 7,500. But at this point, like I tweeted out yesterday, this was the time to try and catch this falling knife for at least a short-term rebound before it goes back down. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. I didn't really have time to get into it yesterday, but I believe I did a short video maybe 36 hours ago or something like that, and I tweeted out. So as we were falling, we had a couple of 13s. We had the aggressive 13 here and the regular 13 here. Bounced the price a little bit. There was also a 9. And I think I said it on our video, hey, we're coming into a moving average. We're coming into resistance. We're coming up on a 1 to 4 candle reversal and then back down. When we started going down, we have kicked off a countdown to 13. This 9 here kicked off a countdown to 13, which pretty much right now. I thought this 13 on the hourly can bounce the price a little bit. It did for a minute, but then you got to cut your losses short the moment that trade gets you once again back to break even. Now, the 4-hour is coming up on a 9 later, well, tomorrow, I guess, for people on the East Coast, today for people in Asia like myself. So I am going to look for another 1 to 4 candle reversal and then probably continuation of the downside. The 1 hour has given you a nice bottom call early this morning. Again, I tweeted this out. There was a aggressive 13, a 9, and a 13 on back-to-back candles. This turned into a short-term rebound, double because you have all of these green arrows But then once it starts to go back down, you're like, okay, now I'm going to trade the countdown to 13, coming off of this new 9. At the aggressive calling us about. The aggressive has been working somewhat well, which is why I added it to the code, but not the code is not yet released to clients and stuff. And we once again got a 9, got a bit of a pause. Let's see if we can catch up to the 50-hour moving average, and then probably another leg down. So I would say the hourly is at a short-term rebound and then reevaluate. The 4-hour definitely still has plenty of downside to go. The 1 day is the tricky one because I think this is a decent bounce to the upside before you can retime it to the downside, but ideally you want to reevaluate. So I'll definitely do this video again, if not tomorrow, then definitely the next day. So we'll see. Turning bearish. So once again, it's hard to get a perfect trade going when your different time frames are giving you completely mixed signals on what to do. For some reason, I haven't closed my Ripple yet, and the MoneyGram news didn't do much. I believe Ripple has fully turned, and all of these, green arrows are not going to amount to much. So hopefully this thing will go back into the toilet where it belongs. So we can only hope. That's pretty much it. Anything else you want to add, Jimmy? Let me throw my camera back on.
No. I just have to get prepped for the seminar tomorrow. I got plenty of stuff to do there. Training a bunch of new developers for the Bitcoin community. Let's hope that they can contribute and make everything better for everybody.
Oh wait, I have something else. Hold on. Did you see Jihan Wu reply to you?
He did. I saw that.
Let's pull it up. All right, excellent. Because I saw that last night. I was like at the bar. I'm like, why have a notification directly from Jihan Wu? But that's because I was directly tagged in the tweet. Let me see here.
There's the bad virus. Just gave you 50 pounds. Thank you, bad
virus.
Oh,
really? Thank you, bad virus. Live stream right now, but thank you. How come I don't see it in my notifications? That's weird.
Because it was a while ago, and you have 100,000 followers.
Yeah. No, but I mean, it wasn't that while ago. You know what? I'm just gonna go to his Twitter. If I'm not blocked, I don't think I'm blocked. He hasn't blocked me yet.
No, he doesn't block people that much.
God, the internet here is like the Bitcoin mempool. Hey, I'm not complaining though. I mean, I'm on a cruise and I'm live streaming, so it's
Yeah, tweets and replies.
Yep, going there now. Oh my God, I have more followers than him. That's awesome. All right, here we go. Let me go all the way down, then I'll do a Control F. Yeah, you should be in here somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There it is.
This
is last tweet.
Yep. Jimmy, you should stop attacking other chains developers based on lies and frauds.
Right. So this is like total 1984 doublespeak, right? So a Bcash developer basically that you are contributing code to Bcash. You say, I did no such thing, and then Jihan accuses you of FUD against the Bcash developers.
Yeah, that's more or less what happened. That's fairly accurate. Yeah, I mean,
this is like ridiculous. Like, how do you even debate this? You're being accused. You're being accused of fighting for defending yourself against something you did not do.
Yeah, that's more or less what's happening. Yeah, I mean, this is why I didn't bring it up or put it as a story for us, is because I don't want to respond. I don't care to respond. I think if that's his view, that's his view. And if he wants to tell me what to do, sorry, man, you don't pay me, so you don't get to do that. So yeah, that's it.
All right, guys, I think I'm like missing some kind of announcement. Let me make sure that I actually get off this thing and don't permanently get stuck in Thailand. But which wouldn't be a bad thing, actually. All right, guys, on this note, I'm going to leave the boat, going to go to the beach. We'll be back on the boat tomorrow. I dock back in Singapore Friday morning, Singapore time. I'll stick around there. And we'll continue to bring you live videos. Thank you for watching, and good luck trading.
And this song is done.
All right. Close us out, Jimmy.